Check out the story from the New York Times. Let's jump right into it. New allegations of cover-up by Cuomo over nursing home virus toll. In a private conversation, the governor's top aide admitted that data was withheld on nursing homes where more than 10,000 New Yorkers have died during the pandemic. They say the remarks by the top aide, Melissa DeRosa, made in what was supposed to be a private conference call with Democratic lawmakers came as a cascading series of news reports and a court order have left Mr. Cuomo, a third-term Democrat, scrambling to contain the political fallout over his oversight of nursing homes where more than 13,000 people have died in the pandemic and in the state. CNN takes it a little bit further, saying New York governor's top aide admits administration delayed the release of COVID-19 deaths in long-term care facilities over federal investigation concerns. You got to be kidding me. Oh. They thought there was an investigation coming, so they started hiding the fact that Cuomo killed these people. I've been mad about this for a long time. And now it's substantially worse because I've been telling people, do you know 6,500 elderly were killed by Cuomo when he put these sick people in these nursing homes? Then they contracted it and died. It was actually much more than that. 13,000 people. Damn, this is crazy.
Well, that's the estimates. Some people say it's even bigger than that. Some people are estimating it's 15,000 people. The effects and the ramifications of this are absolutely brutal. I mean, there's multiple calls for criminal prosecution of Andrew Cuomo. Immediately, jail. Now. No questions about
Believe it
it.
or not, right
Give
to
him
jail.
a trial.
Yes.
Give him a trial, but right to jail. Seriously, this is absolutely insane. There are some actual, I never thought I would say this in my life. There's some actual Democrats in New York with a spine, and they're actually calling for Andrew Cuomo to lose his emergency COVID powers. That needs to be that needs to happen immediately.
How about step down?
Yeah.
How about that? How about not like
Resign.
lose your powers? How
Yes.
about you step down, call it a day? I mean, once again, theorists are right? Isn't it? I mean, like they said it forever,
Yeah.
and here we are once again. Theorists are right.
Well, but this was publicly known. This is what blows my mind. ProPublica, and not a conservative organization, mind you, ran the story saying 6,500 deaths. That one was bad enough. What was this dude thinking, putting sick people literally next to the most vulnerable? We've been talking about what we got to do to open up the economy. And the first thing is protect the vulnerable, the elderly and those who are immunocompromised. And what does Cuomo do?
The opposite.
He did the opposite. He stuffs, what was it, 9,000 people?
Yeah, around 9,000 that we know of for now, because there's a massive cover-up here. As hospitals and field hospitals, the Jacob Javits Center, Central Park, and even huge U.S. naval ships were ready to take on sick people, what did he do? Send them back to nursing homes under his own directive.
The question is why?
Yeah.
Why did this scumbag
Seriously.
kill 13,000 people?
Let's-
And why now are they only calling him out now? We knew this happened months ago. So, Luke, you mentioned some Democrats have a spine. They said nothing for how many months? 6, 7 months? We've been complaining about it the show periodically. We bring it up periodically. Cuomo killed these people.
And to add insult to injury, Cuomo is literally meeting with Biden now, trying to get federal bailout money for the state for the mistakes that he made, for the lockdowns that he initiated, and the lives that he ruined in more ways than one. Meanwhile, what does the Biden administration do? They passed the bailout bill. That's probably going to give them a boatload of money. And they're going after Florida. Florida, of all places that didn't lock down, has no mandates, is actually dealing with this sickness way better than, of course, the New York government. But now Biden's going to be literally bailing out New York State, or giving them money for doing this, essentially.
If you had
rewarding
to
them.
spitball why he would do this, like try to come up with a reason
Trump.
for the positive. Right.
Trump.
Yeah, man.
These deaths were added to the numbers. New York was brutal in how many, they were like 35,000 have died so far. And it seems like a good portion of that was because of Cuomo on purpose. And I think there's two things here. If I had to guess, okay, because I don't know for sure. Why didn't the media go after Cuomo hard? Why didn't Democrats? Because it helped them go after Trump. So they knew he killed these people and said, you just wait till after November. Right?
Why were they taken out of the nursing homes to begin with?
Who? What do you mean?
You said they were sent back to nursing homes. So what?
No, well, that means they were sent from the hospital to the nursing home, so they were sent back to the nursing home.
So they were taken out of the nursing home. They got diagnosed in the hospital.
Wait, what?
They were taken out of the nursing homes because they were sick. They went to the hospital. They got diagnosed with COVID, and then he was like, "What are we going to do with them? Send them back to the nursing."
Some
home.
of the people who got sent were young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the
It
guy that
wasn't
beat
all-
that guy up?
There was young people for no reason being put in long-term care facilities with the elderly.
in nursing homes.
Yes.
Wow.
Cuomo killed these people.
Well, you got to be careful with that accusation.
No, I don't.
What?
He didn't take a knife and cut their
Even
throats one by one.
CNN is reporting now that he's responsible for this.
Okay, he's
even
responsible
Democrats,
for the
you're
death.
the only one defending the
Look,
guy.
I'm not even defending him.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
are.
saying the way you phrase saying that someone killed someone.
How
and saying
about
that
a guy
someone's
who lost his
responsible for
mom,
their death is a
who
different
threw a
thing.
banner down right here who said, Cuomo killed my mom? Go tell him
Look,
that
dude,
Cuomo didn't
your
kill his
tax
mom.
dollars fund the drone bombs. You didn't kill those people.
Oh, we did. Yes, we
No,
did.
you didn't.
Yes.
Someone
yes.
did with your
we
money.
all contribute to that. And that's why I complain about it. But I'm telling you this right now. When you've got Janice Dean of Fox News saying that Cuomo killed her in-laws, when a guy dropped a banner over a highway in New York saying Cuomo killed my mom, and they lied about it because they were being federally investigated. They were scared of a federal investigation, so they covered up the numbers. Dude, I'm telling you, they put sick people when they had the opportunity to put them on the ships. That ship that Trump sent in. Don't want to use that? Could make Trump look good, huh? Didn't want to put him in the Javits Center, have the actual capability to save these people. So put them in nursing homes, let them all die, and then cover up the numbers because you're being investigated. And now even Democrats are coming after him. I'm sick to my stomach.
Were the
over
ship
this.
and were the ship and the Javits Center like less?
No, they were the best of the best.
Were they dirty?
The best.
No
of
one
the
used
best.
them. No one was inside of them. They were empty the whole time.
Yeah.
The military
Fungus.
ship is some of the best of the best. The Javits Center, we can argue, was a field hospital that was set up, and it wasn't the same as a regular hospital. But to put people in nursing homes made zero sense. And there was what you brought that guy who beat that elderly guy.
The 25-year-old guy
20
was recovering from COVID. He beat up this old dude in a nursing home
Yeah.
after he was put.
And
in
what about the
nursing home with
ventilators?
COVID. The
What about the ventilators that he hid
Oh, gosh.
and got busted hiding?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
that?
the warehouse, right?
What
Yeah.
happened?
I mean, Cuomo got all these ventilators and hid them, and then went on and started, we need ventilators. We need them. And then Trump's like, they're right over here, dude, where you put them. See, when you said about the drone strikes, Tim didn't order the drone strikes. Cuomo ordered old people it's a totally different thing. Our tax dollar go to feeding this military industrial complex for sure. But Tim, me, Luke, nobody made a decision. Hey, let's drone strike this place. like
Imagine
Cuomo.
how psychotic you have to be to do this, and then say, "I'm going to write a book about how great I did, and I get a book deal out of it. I get an Emmy out of this. I get congratulated by all the mainstream media. Family-friendly show. I got so many other words I want to use here. Celebrating him and propping him up as this great leader when in reality he's the complete opposite of that. It was a part of a criminal cover-up.
Take a look at how the media covered this. From USA Today, fact check. Does New York have a stockpile of thousands of unneeded ventilators? What was the accusation against Cuomo? That we know they need the ventilators, and he was having them stockpiled in a warehouse somewhere. So USA Today does a fact check where they say unneeded ventilators. Nobody said they were unneeded. That we were saying we needed them, deploy them. I love this. Here's their verdict. The verdict is false. While it's true that New York maintains a stockpile of ventilators not in use, it is incorrect that these machines are unneeded. The current number of ventilators deployed in the state are not enough to meet the increasing challenge. Well, maybe if the dude used the ones that he had that were not in use, he could have had
Why
enough.
didn't he use them?
You know what, man? It's not a conspiracy because we know he did it. The question is why. We can speculate. I have no idea.
So was he like hiding them to get more?
Well, he got caught. He was lying like, we don't have enough ventilators, Trump. You got to send them. And then I think it was Trump who said, you have a big stockpile you're not using. And he was like, well, but. And then so the media comes to his defense and says, unneeded ventilators. No one said there was a stockpile of unneeded ventilators. They said there were stockpiles of ventilators that we needed. And they change it. That's how these fact checks work. I always talk about this. It'll be like, did Donald Trump have a scoop of ice cream with sprinkles? While it's true that Donald Trump did have ice cream, there were no sprinkles. Nobody accused him of having sprinkles. It's like Donald Trump could save a bunch of puppies from a building, and they'll say, did Donald Trump save a bunch of puppies from a burning building with gym shoes on? False. Big, bold letters. And the bottom will say, he did save the puppies, but he wasn't wearing gym shoes.
Yeah,
That's the manipulation. That's how they lie.
What does sanctuary cities have anything to do with this? Wasn't there a bunch of funding cut from places that were just taken illegal?
Well, there's one real simple explanation. I mean, you can get dark with it and say he was willing to kill these people because he hated Trump, or it could be New York is facing a massive budget deficit and a massive debt, and they need money from the federal government. And in order to justify it, they say, oh no, look at all these people. Look, oh, geez, you feds, you better give us money. We need the ventilators. We need them. Why? You got a big warehouse full of them. Use the ones you have.
Almost everything the New York government did when it came to COVID has backfired against the people. Whether it's from the very beginning.
Come on,
saying,
Fauci said they did it right, dude.
He
Come
did.
on.
Fauci did congratulate them and said that they did a great job. But from the very beginning, they were telling you, don't be racist. Go out to the Chinese parade. Go out. It's going to be great.
The Chinese
Pelosi
person.
did it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Come on down to
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Yeah. So when you look at the leadership here, it failed at every single level. And who paid the ultimate price? The citizenry, who are being brainwashed by the mainstream media to try to worship these individuals. You shouldn't worship these people. These are criminals, top-level notch gangsters that, of course, don't give a damn about you, never gave a damn about you. And the sooner you realize that, the better your life will be.
They do, though.
I will say I can't stand the Cuomo brothers personally from the outside. I find that they're riding the coattails of their daddy's last name and that they're incompetent, annoying, ugly dudes. Personally, if I met them in person, maybe I would like them one-on-one, and maybe they are mafia. Like, I don't know. That's like some New York government has had notorious been for like hand in hand with the mob. The dude.
What's the difference between the mob and the government?
Yeah.
What's the difference, Ian?
Paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay,
makes
good
sense,
point.
yeah.
That's a
But
good
that's it.
point. Yeah. Oh, well, you remember he was like comparing himself. He was talking about how him and Fauci are like Robert De Niro and what's his face from all those mob movies. So yeah, he totally has that mentality. He's super powerful.
Can I remind everybody what the Cuomo brothers were doing while Andrew was killing people? Here's from CNN.com. Chris Cuomo teases brother Andrew with giant test swab. And then you've got Chris Cuomo being like, hey, Andrew, you got a big nose. Look at this big Q-tip. You got to stick it in your nose. And everyone's laughing and having a good time.
As his brother, this is another thing. As his brother was lying about the quarantine, being sick, running around town, being caught for it, faking his own kind of release from quarantine when he was caught outside when he was confirmed to be sick. These brothers are psychopathic. They're insane. They, from their own cognitive decisions, they knew that if they got someone else sick, they could kill them. They still went outside.
Chris
and they never
Cuomo
faced any reality for it.
And CNN as a whole pretended that he was quarantined. You saw this story? Sam?
Yeah.
And then he got caught because he was screaming at some dude on a bike 30 minutes from his house because he owned some other property. And the guy sees him and is like, aren't you supposed to be quarantined? He's like, don't you come here, tell me what to do. Then Chris Cuomo admits it all on his radio show.
By attacking the guy.
Right.
He went after the guy.
I don't need some guy coming up to me and
course.
telling me what I can do. And then everyone's like, even Ben Smith at the New York Times said it's crazy how CNN is like, basically lying about this. And then later they had this video where Chris comes out of the basement like, I'm not sick anymore. I'm out of quarantine. And we're all like, dude, we
And his
know you
kids
broke
were
quarantine.
just sitting there like, my dad is such a fake. Dude, if you watch his son's face while he's talking in that video, it's so sad. That kid's
Really?
like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then eventually they get traumatized, and then they're in the whole system too. It's like Governor Newsom's the exact same thing. Quarantine, locking everybody down. Then his winery's open. He's at some restaurant chilling with his friends with no masks on. It's rules for thee and not for me. That is what this is basically, in my humble opinion, is an elite purge. They're doing whatever they want, not following the laws, and nobody's enforcing the laws, and that's the biggest problem.
Meanwhile, suicides of children in California
skyrocketing.
Yeah.
This is what people don't get. In the purge, the elites are safe and protected while the poor people are all killing themselves. They're not going to just come out and be like, everybody commit crimes. They're going to be like, we destroy your business. Then we mass print money that goes right into our pockets from you. And how much have people gotten?
100%, man.
They got like $600. They got $600. Congratulations. Your entire life was destroyed. Cuomo literally killed people, and they laugh about it. And then they get richer. The big box stores, the big corporations get all of that stimulus money funneled right in their pockets because everything else is closed. You're right. It's the purge. They're just doing it in a way
100%.
because they don't want in reality, the purge wouldn't work because people could still commit crimes after the fact. So here's the thing about the purge, right? This movie, you guys know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. For those that are listening, one day a year, you can do whatever you want, basically. And the idea is the rich people and the elites don't got to worry about anything because they're so powerful and they have security. But people still commit crimes, right? So even if we had one day a year that was the purge where you could get away with it, some people still wouldn't care to get away with it because some people still commit crimes. So you imagine this. You have a bunch of elites who get everybody killed. The next day, people aren't going to care about the law. They're going to be angry. Well, this is the way they do it without actually getting anyone to point the finger at them.
I mean, if you take a look at what was going on in all these cities that was burning, these kids would commit crimes. We're finding these kids are the children of the elite. They go down and they burn down a middle class business, and then the DA would just release them. Just release them. It is literally the purge. It was rich kid purge. Yep. When Malcolm X and the Unabomber both say white rich liberals are the most dangerous thing out there, this is exactly what they're talking about. And if you want to go even deeper, you look at so many of these cultural icons, and how many of them are just rich kids that just never got life messed out of them, didn't have to go through it to kill idealism, and they just got in these positions. All their friends are rich in powerful positions, and their message just spread. And that's what 2020 was. Antifa was all that, just rich kids. My own studio in LA, I had friends of mine bragging about being in these riots that they burned and broke down businesses all around my studio. And I'm like, dude, I was right there. All my hard work was right there. If you would have busted in there, you would have destroyed all my dreams. And you don't care because you didn't care about Black lives. You just wanted to go out and have fun. And that's exactly what's happening.
Well, they were locked in. They had no other release valve. So when they took away the sports, they took away the entertainment, they locked them in. I mean, COVID was pretty much the year that a lot of people realized that the rich play by a different set of rules. And hold on, 2 more points. The latest news today is also that Australia...
I don't want to get off this point. That's the purge. That riot was the purge.
Yeah.
They let them do it. They let everyone run around for weeks, smashing and destroying all across this country. They literally had
not all across, in middle class and poor class, because when they tried to go into Beverly Hills, they shut that down real quick.
Not the rich people.
Yeah,
You see that guy who was like tweeting about cheering on the riots?
Yeah, from ESPN.
And then all of a sudden he was like, oh no, now they're by my house.
Yeah.
Stop, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Rules
for thee.
COVID proved this is this is an existence controlled by the rich that have a different set of rules. As of today, we also got the information that Australia just extended their lockdown for 5 days, and Canada is now requesting that if you want to come into their country, you have to pay $2,000 for hotel stay and test to, again, quarantine. We were talking about this yesterday specifically with the United Kingdom, now demanding that if you want to enter the United Kingdom, you have to pay $2,400. So this is pretty much only going to allow rich people to travel, because who can afford paying $2,000 to go to Canada to quarantine for a week?
Has Australia done it yet?
Australia has pretty much banned most travel. I forgot the latest updates. We could probably pull it up, but not a lot of people are allowed to even enter or even leave Australia.
Yeah, it was Qantas said you got to get your test or whatever to prove you're not sick or whatever, you want to fly.
Well, that's what happens in the United States now. If you want to enter the United States, you have to have a test unless you're going through the border. Illegally.
And take a look at what's going. This is all about getting us used to the basically social credit score. If you look at the NBA, they're doing this contact tracing thing. I mean, huge names, guys, test positive. They're like, oh, you were near somebody. Dude, they did it with Kevin Durant. He was right about to play, and they pulled him, and he can't play for games. That's setting the precedence, trying to get us all okay with that. Hey, man, you were hanging out with somebody that we don't like. Go home and hang out. That's what this is all about.
New York proposed that bill. I don't know where it's at right now. I think it was in committee last time, where they were going to set up detention centers or facilities for those who are suspected of having contact with people who may be a danger to public health.
I got something for you, man. There is a video of Governor Newsom talking about, how he's going to deal with the homeless, and he's working with FEMA. And I'm telling you this, as much as you see the homeless around there, there's certain places where I got to drive to work or drive to go see my kids, and you'll see these giant homeless encampments. And then one day, you won't see hardly any homeless there, but the encampment's there. Then the next day you go by, the encampment's gone. And you're like, where did all this go? And I'm telling you, this is how they did it.
Are they rounding them up?
At 4 a.m.
Well, so there's a city in Northern California that does this. They take homeless people, and then what is it? They declare themselves conservators of the individual's finances, and they lock the homeless person up, and then say, until you can prove you can handle money, you're locked up.
In San Francisco, they'll come at 4 a.m. with fire hoses.
That's what I think is going on, man. I know people could call me crazy, but I'm like, where is all these people? It was a giant encampment. Now it's gone. Where'd they go? And you don't see it come back. And it's just like,
what did New York do? It was like New York in the 80s. Was it Giuliani?
Yeah.
Put all the homeless people on a bus and then shipped them off to different cities.
That's what happens at LA too.
Yeah.
Oregon, Washington, and all these other states send their homeless to us.
Well, they're going to send the homeless people to like very lefty states and cities that pay for it. And the people who live there are the ones who reap the benefits of those policies.
I think that was called repopulation. It was like an ancient like punishment for criminals. You just repopulate them by moving them to a different country.
They
Or
put people
place.
in Australia.
Yeah.
Like
That
from
was
the-
a form of it.
Yeah,
The
that's
Romans
just
would
the
do
whole
it.
state country.
So
excuse me,
technically,
with
it's
that.
illegal to loiter. So maybe that's what they're doing. They're like, this is your punishment.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.